Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, March 30th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Very quickly, before I get into the watch list, I want to first personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class I'm offering in a couple of days. So if you're liking what you see and you want to learn more about this tool and why it's so powerful and helpful as a trader, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage you can click to get signed up. So again, if you're liking what you see and you want to learn more about this tool and all the power that it contains, certainly get signed up for that free class. Before I get to the watch list, two quick clarification points. First off, this number over here will still be changing, and the candlestick will still be changing as I go through each chart because the market is still open for a little bit of time. I like to do these videos when the market's still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day movement on video. And then next, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame. So for you beginners out there, what that means is that each one of these candlesticks represents 30 minutes worth of time. So first stock here, ticker symbol HYMC. Talked about this yesterday. And once again, higher highs and higher lows. So the trend continues and some updates need to be done. You're going to go ahead and just get rid of that level as it served its purpose for now. And the first key update comes about based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So $2.40 is going to be that first key level of support, and what I would call the ideal level. Meaning, if you're asked, what would make this chart look the absolute best, healthiest moving forward, then if the price can stay above 240, that would certainly be a great sign of strength. But from the overarching standpoint, as long as the price stays above that purple line, which is the 50-period moving average, keyword being moving, so as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher. So it's basically like a trend line that's going to draw itself for you. So in other words, from the broad scope of things, as long as the price is above that trend line, then the overall trend remains in the bull's favor. As far as levels of resistance are concerned, key level to watch is going to be right here, that trend line, which puts the price right up there around, let's just call it $2.90. So keep a close eye on that. But overall, the uptrend looks perfectly fine. Next one, AMC, which is very, very interesting. Well, let me take a step back. And I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I am trying to pat charts on the back. And I suppose offer up a quick plug to get signed up for that class. Because for those of you that did watch the previous video, you hopefully remember me talking about that green line. And check that out. Talked about it as support. And look at this crazy movement. When the price was getting halted, look right where it bounced off of. And I promise I've not moved that green line. If you don't believe me, I'm not offended. I realize this could be a total stranger to you, but just go back in the video archive, watch the video, and you'll see I put that line in place right there. And like I said, price bounced right off that. Again, I'm not trying to brag about myself. I am trying to brag about the tool of charts. So yeah, definitely get signed up for that class. A great real life example of just how powerful charts can be. And congratulations to anybody that bought off that support. I mean, you got a great bounce. But that brings us to the next segue. So yes, moving forward, nothing has changed there. That level down around 26, still the key level of support. But what's very interesting now is notice this red line here, which I talked about as resistance at $30. The price just can't quite seem to maintain any momentum. Now, it's not a problem of breaking above it. I mean, many times today, the price got up above $30. But the problem became in terms of maintaining the momentum, including right there. Sure, it made a great move up, could not maintain the momentum, back down the price went. So that's, in my mind, at least the big question mark going forward is not can $30 be broken, but can the price get above $30, and then can the momentum maintain itself and sustain itself to finally get some sort of bigger move to the upside where it can remain up at a higher level. But that's, like I said, in my mind, the most interesting dynamic is all about $30, not can the price break it, but can the price get above it and then have that momentum maintain itself. Next one, GameStop, ticker symbol GME, and overall, I state the obvious when I say that the trend is perfectly fine, and I've already talked about this before, so I'll go through it much quicker, but from the overarching standpoint, it's all about that purple line, which you know is the 50-period moving average. So as that line moves higher and higher, again, envision that as the trend line that's drawing itself for you, and as long as the price remains above that overall trend line, then the trend is still perfectly fine. Now, as far as interesting levels moving forward, the level that I think a lot of people will be watching right here at, let's see, what is that? 192. So 192, generally speaking, seems to be an area that a lot of people will be watching. So you have one of those kind of self-fulfilling prophecy type attributes where because a bunch of people are watching it and wondering the same thing, things just happen just because, well, everybody's thinking the same potential thing. Now, that doesn't guarantee anything. So let me be very clear. I'm not saying that it's guaranteed that the price gets up to 192 and breaks above it, then a big move is going to happen. All I'm saying is it's a logical thought process to have. By no means could somebody accuse you of saying that 192 is just a random level. It doesn't make any sense. No, it makes a lot of sense there from the technical point of view. So definitely keep a close eye on that as that main area of resistance. And then again, as far as the overall trend is concerned, watch that 50-period moving average. Next one, SNDL, another quiet, another boring day. But overall, things are still fine, but they are getting, like I said, a little shaky in the sense of, well, the price is now no longer necessarily above that purple line. Now, it's not like it's broke, flush down below it. It's not like the charts collapse, but it is definitely just sitting right at that area. And in my mind, the main question going forward is what's going to happen in regards to this purple line. Because if the price does continue to separate to the downside, that does imply that, okay, something's starting to, there's some cracks in the armor that are starting to form. But to be fair, the price could very much so just bounce back up there. And then from that point, it would just be, the overall trend is still perfectly fine. So in my mind, very curious what's going to happen in regards to that purple line. And if the price starts to separate to the downside, again, not necessarily, am I still willing to say that that implies the entire chart's destroyed? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying then things start to look a lot shakier at that point in time. But like I said, to be fair, I mean, it's a two-sided coin. The price could definitely, bounce to the upside. So it's definitely a wait and see, but that's the whole idea of a watch list, right? Finding interesting situations and then watching them to see what happens so that you can, build a trade plan based around that. But in my mind, that's a key question to watch moving forward over the next couple of days. Next one, HOOD, Robinhood, and I like this one for a very simple reason, a pattern that I assure you a bunch of people are watching. So I don't say this to brag. I don't say it to imply this is a great discovery. I assure you a bunch of people are watching this pattern, which circles back to the whole discussion on self-fulfilling prophecies. So while nothing is guaranteed, you got to think that if certain things happen, then there's a likelihood that, continued action could play out. So as far as the top part of that pattern is concerned, right up there at 1650, pretty straightforward that whenever the price got right up around that area, the momentum just disappeared. And then as far as the other part of this pattern down here around $15.30, so let's make that green to represent more so the bullish support area of the pattern. And then it just make this all easier to see, one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big momentum move right there. So this would be known as a bull flag pattern. So if you like to play bull flag patterns, then I would say definitely get this one on your watch list. Next one, SXTC, and this one is indeed looking relatively ugly right now. But for you longer time viewers, you know what I'm about to say next. There can be opportunity in ugly. You get those situations where when everybody starts to wave the white flag, say, oh, it's game over, this situation is so terrible, then that's when the price, tends to start to turn around. So in my mind, the very interesting level to watch is let's see if this thing can get a bit more uglier and come down to right here around that 25-cent mark, which is a previous breakout point. You have a moving average right there. So again, to continue to reiterate, nothing is guaranteed. So I'm not saying that if the price goes down to 25 cents, it's for sure going to bounce. But is it plausible? Is it at least a valid thought process to have? Absolutely, and that's our job as traders, to not do random things. And nobody could accuse you of 25 cents being some sort of random area. No, there's a thought process. There's logic that goes behind it. So that doesn't guarantee anything, but it does make sure that we're trying to find edges in the market, and that's what our job as traders is. So yes, if you like, particularly penny stocks, if you like to play these situations where things are looking pretty ugly, but you think there could be a risk-reward scenario that benefits you, then definitely get this one on your watch list. Next one, CLVR, and case in point right here and why I wanted to put this one back to back, because it illustrates the fact that, yesterday things were looking pretty ugly. You had a huge surge, and then you had the gap down on Monday, and then it just dropped and dropped and dropped and dropped. And while things were looking pretty ugly, but it never violated, it never quite did anything wrong. It stayed above that purple line the whole time, and then you got a very nice bounce today. So, just to repeat myself, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen on SXTC, but just generally speaking, here was a great example of there being opportunity in something that was looking very ugly. But now moving forward, let's talk about where some of these next potential areas are. And the next area to watch from a resistance standpoint, going to be right there. So keep an eye on that trend line, which as of right now puts it right up around, let's call it $3.35, give or take. That'll be a key overarching level. And if the price can push up through there, then you got to like the chance that it's got a realistic chance of getting up to that $4 mark, if not even higher than that. And then as far as supports are concerned, probably know what I'm going to say right here. Watch that purple line right there. It's already now demonstrated that this general area does like to provide support. So if there is any sort of further pullback, then again, keep an eye on that purple line and see how the price behaves down around there. But as far as technical points are concerned, I think these two levels are the main levels that most people will be watching. Next one, AMD got a very nice breakout today. So, granted, I'm doing this in hindsight here a little bit, but there was that trend line right there. Got the breakout of it late day on Monday, and then today got the continuation of it. So that's the context right now. There is this breakout underway. And from the support side of things, a couple areas to keep an eye on. If you want to be a little bit more aggressive in a potential pullback area, right there at 122. But again, from the overarching standpoint, continue to watch that purple line right there for the reasons I've talked about several times now. So those would be the main areas of support. But as far as resistance levels, This is where we got to squeeze things down quite a bit because it's been a while since the price went up this high. In fact, let me make sure that that level doesn't have any other sort of, nope, doesn't look like it. Okay, so I'll zoom back in here. But right here at, what is that? 124.75. You can see this is a area coming from back here in late February. So definitely several weeks ago, but that'll definitely be, the next key breakout point. But from the overarching, point of view, as long as the price keeps on putting in these higher lows, or if you want to envision these as stair steps. So as long as the stair steps keep constructing themselves in the upwards direction, then that is by far what matters most. But yeah, AMD certainly looking very strong. Next one, SOFI. I did put this in the wrong location of the watch list because this has a lot to do with the Robinhood chart that I talked about, where you had that very well-defined pattern here, because you have almost it's basically like a case of deja vu almost. So let's just get this pattern drawn out. We have this key area of resistance up here at $10.20. You have the area of support down here right around $9.90. And again, let me change that to being green. But hopefully you remember me when I talked about all this with the Robinhood chart, HOOD. And then let's make this one color. So we have our resistance 1020, support 990. We have the big momentum move right there. So have ourselves another bull flag pattern. But what is very interesting is check out the last 30 minutes here. Big volume, final 30 minutes. So let's see if this is some sort of leading indicator that there's going to be an upside break to the, in the bullish direction here on Wednesday. But overall, another very solid, very kind of self-fulfilling prophecy type-ish pattern here with the bull flag. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and trade this one. In fact, that's all I traded today. So I like to do this, always end it, just because I'm always curious. I'm always doing this for myself. What levels stand out to me? And as far as supports are concerned, nothing new here. Those levels all stay. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of that level. But yeah, this level down there at the 1071-ish mark, very, very intriguing. And again, not to pat myself on the back, but just charts in general. Sure didn't hit it exactly like AMC, but I mean, you can't look at that. Look how close that got. We're talking about $1,000 stock right there. So, definitely get signed up for that class. As far as areas that I'm most concerned about, or not concerned, but curious about would be a better word, is that trend line right there. Look at that trend line. I assure you, a bunch of people around the world have drawn that trend line. So once more, does it guarantee anything? No. But does it make it plausible? Does it make it logical to think that if the price can get up to that trend line and break up through it, that break right there could generate quite a bit of upwards buying pressure and cause another leg of momentum? That is an absolutely plausible thought process to have. And that current value, right up there around, let's just call it the 1105-ish area, give or take a little bit. Again, we are talking about an $1,100 stock. But overall, like I said, that is by far the key level that I'm most curious about. So we'll see if that comes into play on Wednesday. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool and why it's so powerful and useful to build consistency, get signed up. Like I said, it'll be later this week, Thursday, March 31st at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there live. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to put in the time and effort to scan, to analyze all of this, then please let me know some basic feedback. Hit the like button, leave a basic comment, say hi, tell me what you traded today. But those two things, hitting the like button, leaving a simple comment, really go a long way in communicating to me that you enjoy this format. And as long as I know people are enjoying, I will continue, like I said, to put in the effort to put these videos together and get them out to you. And again, as far as that live class is concerned, get signed up. Hopefully I'll see you there. Everybody take care. Have a good one.